Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo. Thank you so much for joining us on Houston Legends. We're happy to provide you with some inspirational individuals who've contributed not only to Houston, but also across the globe. Hope you enjoy the show. Glad to be recognizing our Houston legend, Beth Wolf. She's a third-generation Houstonian, mother of two, and an icon according to the Houston Business Journal and those in her industry, which is real estate. So let's learn a little bit more about Beth Wolf. Congratulations on being named a Houston legend, which you truly are.
Thank you so much. It is truly an honor.
Well, you have had an extraordinary life. You've contributed in so many ways. Tell us a little bit about your journey as it relates to the success that you have today. What were some of the things that you did along the way to get you where you are today?
Interesting, because, when I went into business in 1974, there was not a lot of opportunity for women. And I always say I was divorced before it was popular, but it was necessary.
Yes.
And I became the sole supporter of my children. So it was a different time. I know today that so many people don't appreciate. It was only 1974 when women got equal credit.
Yes.
Now, I chose real estate for the time flexibility and the income potential. And it's been an amazing career.
Yes.
When I went to the University of Texas, most of the people went for an MRS.
Yes.
I got a BBA.
Yes.
But I did get married and have children and started to do what was expected of women at the time.
Yes.
So entering the business field at that point in time was challenging. And what I find is that we all face challenges. They may be different, but at each journey, each point in time, there's something that people have to contend with.
Yes.
So as I once told my children, we often can't control the events that affect our life. That was one that was unexpected. Our power comes in the way we react to those events.
Yes.
And so I found along the way, you cannot go through entrepreneurship and being in business, and especially as a woman through all these years, without facing challenges.
But you've been resilient. You have really built a business, as you said, that has been extraordinary when women were either career women or stayed at home, and you managed to do both.
It was really interesting. Then in the 70s, there was no child care. I had latchkey kids before the term was invented.
Yes.
So what I would say is whatever you're faced with, just do your best. Become creative. Also, see the opportunity that's out there. Face the challenges with courage and find a solution. Of course, my motivation, that couldn't have been any better, was to take care of my children. What I found along the way, and many times I felt bad because we were in a neighborhood where the moms were at home, I was at work. But what you find as you go along is that sometimes what you think was not so good turns out to have truly been a benefit. I always wanted to be in business, so in some ways I've achieved my dream.
Yes.
I know when I went to UT, Kay Bailey Hutchison was in my honorary service organization, and she had sort of lived my dream life. And so I was very pleased when I had the opportunity to go when she was installed as a senator. So you find, if you are open and positive and resilient, as you said, that you'll be surprised. It reminds me of Dr. Seuss, the places you can go,
Yes. And you've gone many places, and the full circle of now your children, adults, of course, working in the business with you.
That has been truly amazing to me, and I actually did not encourage either one. Coincidentally, my son studied psychology at LSU, and it happens to have been the best field you could have ever gone into, actually probably for anything, but in particular for real estate. And when he got out of college, he wanted to come work for me. I wanted him to go try working for someone else. So once again, I accepted the fact that he was going to work for me. I knew it was going to be wonderful, it was going to be awful. It ended up being unbelievable. And he has followed in my footsteps, basically. I started giving back to the city in the early 80s because I felt so grateful to be in Houston. We are so full of opportunity. So if you do have a dream, this is a place you can achieve it.
Yes.
I know we had a young person in our office just the other day who's moved here from Park City, Utah. And it's interesting because I have grandchildren who don't want to move to a big city, but she did. And of course, for anything you want to do, we have opportunity.
Yes, all you have to do is, as you said, get out there, work hard, find a solution, talk to people, and I'll tell you, so many people have come to Houston that it's their first city from wherever they were, and they worry about, are they going to get connected? Will the networking be helpful? And we find that over and over, Houstonians say, it doesn't matter where you came from, what are you doing, and how can I help? And we see that. And in your industry, wow, the highs, the lows, and you've survived it all.
I'm grateful. I opened my own company in '78, once again, due to the fact that I didn't like the way the people I was with were conducting business. So I had one sales associate, 375 square feet, and I didn't know. I really didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I had to do it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why I'm such a big believer in the opportunity here. And what I also have found is if you give back, you actually end up getting more than you give.
Yeah.
That's been my
And
experience.
you've done so much, especially with the Houston Association of Realtors and other organizations, whether it's being an officer, a member, and you've said it. All of those things help you connect the dots. And it's a way of, as one of our board members would say, doing good and doing well, all at the same time.
Well, it's been interesting because I found that I was appointed first by Mayor Kathy Whitmire, and that was because I was a woman and they needed someone. It was at that time called the Houston Job Training Partnership Council.
Yes.
Now Workforce Houston.
Yes.
I was appointed by Mayor Lanier to the first TERS, which is fascinating. So to be able to see today where they're sort of reimagining what that should look like by Mayor Brown, I was on the Convention Center Hotel Committee. Again, I was the only woman. There were 6 of us, and we determined that the Hilton Americas had to be built by the city, and the idea was it would be sold in 2007 and 8. However, due to the economy, they still own it.
Yes. Well, what a journey, and certainly from the perspective of an entrepreneur, a lot of sacrifices that you had to make along the way. People see the successful Beth Wolf that we all know, but certainly you made a lot of sacrifices. And as you look back today, what would you encourage, especially entrepreneurs, to be aware of?
Just that if you are, first, you really need to have a passion for what you do. And that makes all the difference. Like people ask me why I'm not retiring. I love what I do. And even though both my children are now in the business, as long as they'll have me, I'll be there. But in addition to that, I think that you have to be willing to embrace change. I recall in the 60s when the internet came in and my son went with me. He was the only one there, a young person. And he understood what it was. And I trusted him, and we had the first web page because of that. So sometimes, and we're going through AI now, which
Yes.
is similar in a way. So not only embrace change, but when you see an opportunity, be the change.
Very well put. And as you look back now at this amazing career as a mother to 2 successful children, what would you like your legacy to be, Beth?
I feel that they are my legacy. And beyond that, at this point in time, I was so honored to get a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Houston Business Journal. I also got one from Who's Who in Luxury Real Estate, which is an international organization. And so I feel like having the opportunity to mentor and to help younger people, whether it be in the industry or in community service.
Yes.
And I would like, I guess, that people know that I did the best I could.
Yes, and that you've been an example to so many in a very competitive industry that is always evolving. And Houston has seen a lot of change. everywhere we look, it seems there are new apartments, people wanting to move into the city. What are you seeing? What do you think is on the horizon for this great city as it relates to real estate?
I think that Houston will continue to develop. We're so creative, and we have different issues than other cities being unzoned. And I had the opportunity to serve on the Planning Commission under both Bill White and Anise Parker. And it is, again, something that is evolving, but it's so important for people to be aware of what's going on. The vision for the future, the people in the past had that vision. They used to call it can-do cowboy capitalism.
Okay.
And so I keep that in mind always. So it's the idea of continuing. We have a lot of issues we have to address. They say today that only 40% of the people in Houston can afford a home based on the current interest rates. However, as you probably know, the interest rates have been a lot higher than 7%.
Absolutely.
I actually sold homes when they were 18%. So again, it's just accepting where you are. Maybe you can buy less home, but there's opportunity still there. And if you're a teacher, if you're into a doctor, certain things, there are incentives for you to purchase homes. They appreciate that you're, getting started, as well as first-time home buyers.
Correct. Well, there's a lot of learning to be done and a lot of information out there. So thank you again, Beth, for joining us today. Congratulations on being named a Houston legend and for serving as an inspiration to so many people, not just in Houston, but across the country. We thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we'll see you very soon. Thanks for joining us.
For every challenge, the solution lies in teamwork and collaboration, the kind that Lone Star College IT students learn through true field experiences. Expand your classroom, take on the world, and change your life at Lone Star College.
I'm grateful to be able to achieve my degree through Lone Star because it's opened up a lot of opportunities, both for collaboration and personal development.
Lone Star College. Start close, go far. Take on the world.
I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're so happy to recognize our next Houston legend, Roberto Contreras. He is President and CEO of Moderno Porcelain Works and more. You're going to learn a lot about some of his big projects in the city and across the country. Roberto, thank you for being with us.
No, thank you for inviting me.
We've been involved with you for many, many years at the Chamber and have seen you grow and just do so many great things. Moderno Porcelain Works is
Yes.
your newest venture. And before we talk about that, though, tell us a little bit. Your journey has been extraordinary. How did you get started? What was one of your first big breaks?
Oh my God, where do I start? Well, I came to this country in 1984. I came because my parents had moved into the country about a year before, and they kept on inviting and saying, "Hey, you guys have to come. You guys have to come." At the time, I was 20 years old, and I was already married. I was already married with a little baby girl. Mm-hmm. So my wife and I, Claudia, we decided to, hey, we could always, go and try it and see and explore something new. And if we don't like it, we could always come back to Mexico. So we decided to move to Houston. When I arrived, I did not speak the language. I did not speak English. So I went to University of Houston to take English crash course, English as a second language, and after that I applied to college. So I was coming from starting my degree in engineering at Tecnológico Monterrey in Mexico, and when I arrived here, I knew that I was not going to do engineering because I was really struggling with it, and really my mind was in business. So I applied to Texas A&M because I had a lot of friends that have moved from Tech of Monterrey to A&M, and I didn't make it because my English was not good enough to make it into A&M. So I went to Blinn Junior College, and then later I transferred to U of H. And frankly, I was able to go to college because my wife went to work, and I went to school. And even though I was working after school, she was really supporting me. Mm-hmm. And that was my first break. My first break was realizing when I finished college that I could start a business because I was being supported by my wife. I mean, we didn't have much, and it was not easy, but we were surviving. Yes. So I was able to take the risk of starting my own business, which had always been my dream. To be able to create jobs and to be my own boss.
What was your first business?
My first business, I gotta go back to when I was in college. I was working in the warehouse in the afternoons. I was working in the warehouse of this company that was providing the metal fireplace boxes. Mm-hmm. To apartment complexes. So they were a distributor for the manufacturer of the metal fireplaces, and they installed it mainly in apartment complexes. And there was a big boom in the early 80s on apartment construction because there was some tax advantages if you invested in this type of apartment creation or housing creation. So this company had a lot of business, and one of the things that they did is they did some marble surrounds. Okay. Together with the fireplace. So in many cases in the summer, I was in charge of actually, making sure that this got installed properly and it was happening. And I always asked them why they were not doing marble in the vanity tops of these apartments, and they said that it was because of breakage, because they were importing the marble from Italy and from Mexico, and when you bring a piece of marble with a hole, it breaks. So I had a great idea of, I'm going to start a fabrication shop cutting marble and making it easier for companies like this one to be able to supply marble in commercial jobs. Yes. To make a long story short, I started a fabrication shop cutting marble, and that was my first business after college, thinking that I already had a customer. Okay. And today, you're doing a whole lot of work in this space again, but in a very different way. Well, yes. The experience from that business led to another business. I introduced in the late 90s, early 2000s, I introduced a new product to the industry called Silestone. So I partnered with a manufacturer, and we created a company to introduce this new product, which is a quartz surface, which at the time didn't exist. There was not a lot of people, actually, there was none really bringing it for countertops. I sold that company 12 years later after I started the company. It was, very successful company. And I left the industry in 2010. And later, I went back to a trade show 7 years later, and I discovered this new product, which my idea was, if I did it before, I could do it again. introduce a new product to the market because it's not, even though the product is available, is not really accepted yet. It's not everywhere, and the product has great advantages
Yes.
over other products, and that is a large format porcelain tile.
And I've been to your warehouse, and it is beautiful. And in terms of the technology, and if you see something, you can take a picture of it, and you're customizing all of it. So
And that is what it is, right? The reality is that the technology keeps advancing.
Yes.
And that gives you the ability to have new products and new ideas. And in this case, the concept of this product, it is being able to provide the customer with the look of a natural stone in this case, and I say natural stone because right now marble is really in fashion.
Yes.
White Italian marble is very desirable. So it's to be able to provide the customer something that looks exactly like white Italian marble. It feels exactly like white Italian marble because it's a stone, but without the disadvantages that natural stone has, which are natural stone is very rough on the environment because basically you're mining it out of the earth, and it has some disadvantages, some weaknesses. I mean, marble is not used commonly in kitchen countertops because it stains, it scratches. It is hard to be able to have matching colors. So this product basically bridges all those gaps and is able to overcome all those deficiencies thanks to the technology. And
it's a great alternative.
It is.
Certainly. Well, I must ask you about the incredible, the Allen that is coming up very soon, that is going to be a true gem in this city. You have so many other projects, buildings across Texas and elsewhere, but let's start with the Allen.
Well, the Allen is definitely the largest real estate development project that our company has developed. The Allen is a mixed-use development on Allen Parkway, which has some retail pavilion. It has a 34-story tower, which this first 16 floors is a hotel, Thompson Hotel, which is the boutique of the Hyatt, and then has 100 residences, 100 condominiums. That is a phase one, and then we have phase two that will come later as an apartment and more retail. But basically, the Allen is just an opportunity created by the big investment that was made on Buffalo Bayou. Yes. Because it's a great location now, but it's really leaning on that big investment that the Kinder family and the city of Houston created with Bayou Bend Park.
And it's going to be extraordinary. We can't wait to host our gala there in 2024, and it'll be around the corner. And certainly going there, having been in San Antonio at the Thompson that you have there, and it's extraordinary having come to this city, as you mentioned, to Houston, without the language, without any connections, if you will, that you are a true American success story.
Oh,
so we're so proud of you, and you've always been very engaged with the Chamber of Commerce. Anytime that I have called, you have been there. So we appreciate, we value, and we thank you.
Well, and I appreciate everything that the Chamber does for the community and for business people.
Thank you. So Roberto, before we wrap up, I'd just like to ask you, what would you like your legend to be?
Really, what I would like is for my grandkids to do well, and that to me, that would be the biggest thing that I could leave is really to have grandkids that are doing good, and that they continue that spirit, that American spirit of achievement, and continue to try to get better, after the previous generation.
Every generation better.
Yes.
Thank you, Roberto. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the
Thank you.
opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Well, we'd like to say again, congratulations to Roberto Contreras and all of the many accomplishments that he and his family have made, not just in Houston, but throughout the country. We thank you for joining us. We'll see you very soon. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo. I want to thank you for joining us here on Houston Legends.
For every challenge, the solution lies in teamwork and collaboration. The kind that Lone Star College IT students learn through true field experiences. Expand your classroom, take on the world, and change your life at Lone Star College.
I'm grateful to be able to achieve my degree through Lone Star because it's opened up a lot of opportunities, both for collaboration and personal development.
Lone Star College. Start close, go far. Take on the world.
Gosh, what a great organization, what great leadership from Dr. Murillo. You always want to go where the future is, and this is where the future is. And when you look at this people, the quality of the production, everything about this organization and the leadership, this is what you want to be a part of.
The Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is the leading regional advocate for the economic and civic interests of the Hispanic business community. Our three legislative priorities include DACA, NAFTA, and census. Collectively, the economic impact of these three legislative priorities is $24.8 billion in the greater Houston region. The Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce announced a wide-ranging partnership with the City of Houston ahead of the pivotal 2020 U.S. Census to increase engagement and broaden awareness. We have utilized our media platform, which includes CBS, Intercom, Univision, KHOU 11, and the Q to disseminate facts and figures. Additionally, the national media has taken notice of our chamber and has featured us on Bloomberg, CNN, The Washington Post, NPR, Money Week, to name a few, in an effort to educate and emphasize our role as the leader of Houston's new majority. We prepared op-eds, wrote white papers, held press conferences, presented on local and national panels.
NAFTA, as you know, your chamber once again has taken the lead. The numbers don't lie.
This is about jobs, economic impact. We know that a trade between the U.S. and Mexico is over $180 billion as it relates to Texas.
We celebrate the fact that the United States Supreme Court has thrown out that census question that was, are you a U.S. citizen?
It was also a banner year for the Chamber's annual initiatives, groundbreaking and data-focused Hispanic Impact Summits, the Women's Leadership Conference and Business Expo, Health, Innovation, and Technology Summit, our annual Luncheon and Business Expo, the largest in Houston, as well as our elected officials reception, annual awards gala. We graduated emerging leaders. The Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce remains mission-focused.
And as go Hispanics, so goes Houston.
The Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is the leading regional advocate for the economic and civic interest of the Hispanic business community, the leader of Houston's new majority.